Welcome back to my kitchen, friends. You're at that 1870s homestead, and my name's Rachel. And one of the things that I need to stock back up in my pantry this year is Salsa Verde. It's been 2 years since I made it because in 2019, 21, 22, yep, 2 years. I did a big batch, so I didn't have to do any last year. I do this year. So I am doing a different take on it, so it was worth doing a new video. I'm doing a roasted Salsa Verde. I prefer using my young, unripened green tomatoes. You will see some that are slightly blushing. That's totally fine. I just still want them firm. But I'm going to do a roasted Salsa Verde. I need a little bit more bulk to the green tomatoes that I have here today. So I'm going to be adding some zucchini to it. So I'm going to show you that process. But the first step in this is to get these roasted. So come on down here to the sheet pan. I'll show you what I've got on here and then we'll get to roasting them. Okay, so I have 2 pans of tomatoes. This pan has green tomatoes on it and I'm working with about 20 pounds of tomatoes. That's my estimate. I didn't exactly weigh them. 20 pounds or so of tomatoes. I have 30 cloves of garlic. And then on the other pan, tomatoes and 7 larger size onions, just quartered. I'm adding a full 2 cups or so of, maybe a cup and a half of jalapenos that were just chopped from this year's garden and in the freezer waiting for a day like today to become salsa. So all of this is going to go in an oven at, let me just double check my time, or my temperature, 425 for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I'm going to pull off the garlic and then we'll continue roasting these for another 15 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, when I need to pull off this garlic, I will flip these pans and rotate them. So see you guys back in 15 minutes. I can tell you guys it already smells so good, and we're not even close to being done. They're just starting. I guess what you're wanting to accomplish, I didn't mention that, is see how the onions are charring. You kind of want to get that char on what you're working with. But I need to pull, oh God, it's so heavy. Pull these out somehow. And I'm going to switch them real quick. Put this one on the bottom. Close that so I can work. I'm going to get this garlic off and then we'll put this pan back in for 15 more minutes and then we get to all the fun bits. Yolk. Get these in the roaster. Oh, nice char on them. Goes in just fine. Second. All right, you guys want to see one? See if I can pick it up. Nice. All right. So hot. Man, I tell you what, this looks so good. All right, so let's get to adding our ingredients. Let me get you guys out of the steam. Okay, we will add our roasted garlic. I have 2.5 cups of lime juice. I'm gonna add 2.5 cups of cilantro, which is basically this entire jar almost. It is freeze dried, so it's a little smaller than it would be if it was fresh. Let's do, how much black pepper? 5 teaspoons of black pepper. variety, and we need about, you know, I'm doubling this recipe a whole bunch of times, so I'm going to do quite a lot of cumin, probably like 10 teaspoons of cumin. Now, everyone measures differently. You guys have, if you're not new to my channel, you see I measure, so not measure. Non-measurements are my measurements. I do it by, yeah, that's a good teaspoon / tablespoon. I'm doing 2 teaspoons of salt, so times 5, I'm doing 10. So probably a good, okay, maybe a pinch more. Okay, what else do we gotta add? I think that's it. That is it. Yep. So I am going to turn my roaster up because we want to bring this to a simmer. So I'm setting it right at 250 or so. I'm going to get my immersion blender in here and just do an initial immersion blend to it, get the tomatoes mushed up, and I may have to do it one more time. So let's come down here so you can see it. We'll get it stirred, we'll get it immersion blended, and it won't take long and we'll be ready for canning. If you did not have an immersion blender, you could totally throw this in like batches through your food processor. And while I'm doing a great big old batch of this, you can, you know, take my measurements and totally scale it down for what your family needs. I'm guessing this will make me, this is an 18-quart roaster, and we're going to be sitting at about maybe 10 quarts, 9 quarts. Ooh, excuse me. So that'll be a lot of salsa. I will do it in pint jars though. All right, guys, how was that for fast? I'm just gonna let this simmer now for maybe 15 minutes or so. Come back through, give it a stir, see if I missed any tomatoes that need to be processed, and then we'll get to canning it up. Oh my goodness, we almost forgot to add our zucchini. I'm not adding much, like 4 cups, so it was, I know it doesn't look like it, but when you freeze it and drain all the water out, it gets condensed. So that was 4 cups of fresh grated zucchini if you're using that, or if you're using frozen, just grab out a couple 4 cups. Now I could totally add more zucchini to this. I just did check my freezer. I have plenty of zucchini for what I need, so that just gives me a little bit more salsa to add up. And if you haven't watched my videos, zucchini is like, I call it the magic vegetable, because it'll take on the flavor of whatever you add it to. And as long as there's enough acidity, which with the green tomatoes and the lime juice, there's enough acidity in here that I can safely add my zucchini and get to canning this. So just let that zucchini heat through. Run through here with the blender one more time. I noticed a couple garlic cloves that didn't get processed, a couple tomato chunks that I'll need, and onion chunks need to get chopped up. And then we're going to town on canning. So I guesstimated around 20 pints. We'll see what we end up with. And how long am I water bath canning this? 20 minutes. And we're going to a 1/2 inch of headspace. How about that? Yummy, yummy. So how do I use Salsa Verde? If you've never made it, you're not familiar with it, well, number one, salsa. I mean, it is phenomenal. I love it. I think I would pick this off the shelf myself to eat with like chips and salsa, than a red salsa. That's just my preference. Todd, not so much. He likes my regular salsa. But I use this most frequently for my primary base of flavors and goodness for white chicken chili. If you're doing like chicken burritos, stir this in with your sour cream or whatever your base is going to be for your sauce for your baked burritos. Great. not burritos, enchiladas. And how else have I used this? Oh, I did like an enchilada shrimp, some kind of shrimp enchilada bake with it. Lots of recipes. I mean, I always say the same thing, and I feel like you guys are gonna get sick of it, but get creative in your kitchen. Think outside the norms, and how can you use your homemade goodness and come up with something new. That has been probably one of my primary blessings coming out of homesteading, is teaching myself to cook with what I grow and what I preserve. And it's just been so rewarding. Like, I've grown so much as a homemaker, and it's been really, really fun. So I'm gonna get these jarred up, and then I'll bring you guys back and we'll just double check how much did we get. And then I'm also finding some tomatoes and onions as I go through here that need to be processed still yet a little bit more. All right, right at 21 pints. Pretty awesome. I've got my 2 canners well heated up behind me. We're gonna see if we can fit all these. And I will be set probably for the next 2 years with this much Salsa Verde. So good job. Harvest those green tomatoes. Don't let them go to waste. I've got quite a few videos in our I think it's called All Things Tomato playlist, which goes over like how I grow them, how I preserve them. It might even have ways to cook with them. So yes, please, please, please don't let those green tomatoes go to waste. I'm gonna get these all in the canner. We're processing them, like I said, for once the water comes up to a boil. We'll start our timer, 20 minutes. I will bring you back like always and show you the end product. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed the recipe. And if you don't wanna take time to roast it, I also have another video on just making plain old Salsa Verde, which isn't plain old, it's good enough as it is without roasting everything. See you guys on the next video.